Ever since the first day of preschool, I used to cry. I felt very sad, alone, and strange and odd. So I walked into class and I started crying. My mom came back and picked me up, and this happened every single day. You know, I wasn't the only kid crying though. For the first couple of weeks,
Wait, why? Why?
there was a couple of kids that were also crying, so I kind of felt like I was somewhat normal, but then they stopped.
Okay, I don't. That's probably because you had attachment issues to your mom. Hold on, I guess I could watch this.
Ever since the first day of preschool, I used
Just for a...
since preschool changed. I wouldn't cry obviously, but now I just knew how to bottle up my emotions and express them in different ways, which is actually very daunting. And nothing has changed now. I'm a senior, 12th grade. I have my last semester left of traditional schooling, and nothing has changed. I still get just as sad as the very, very first day that I've walked into that hellhole. This traditional way.
So, like, right off the bat, the reason I'm laughing is because this doesn't make any logical sense to me. Like, there's a conversation to absolutely have about, like, a better way to operate our school systems. 100%. I'm not going to disagree with you. The best way, funny enough, is actually to have universal preschool because it puts everybody at, like, a better position to be able to deal with class. But what's so funny, though, is that this guy's like, I went to preschool and I was crying. And that feeling of crying never stopped. Because what he's trying to tell you is that, like, a school has been oppressing him since he was in preschool. Okay. You don't have a GPA in preschool, motherfucker. You were crying probably because you have attachment issues with your, like, mom or your dad, which is normal. But then you go to school and you're like, I want my fucking mom, I want my dad. No, like, you're supposed to, that's a forcefully socializing you so you don't become a psychopath. That is literally a thing. That's a good thing. You can get a good grade in nap time. So now we're set up for, like, a really weird video because this guy talked about how he cried when he was a baby. It's like, okay, as babies cry. I got it at 1.2 in my nap time class. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro. They literally teach you how to, like, paint and talk to other kids. That's it, bro. Come on. Like, it's so stupid. But okay.
Way of schooling was made to make us work in factories. All the kids sit in rows nice and neat. They all compete for a grade. They all raise their hand to speak. You cannot even use the bathroom without asking a teacher who is in full control of your bladder. If that's
Yeah, it's kind of true. So different types of schools, depending on where you grow up in, are going to train you in different ways. Like in my school, and it also depends on, like, your development level. In my school, like, yeah, we did this as well. It's not necessarily about teaching you the curriculum. It's more about teaching you how to obey law, like, rules, right? I don't know if it's intentional or not. But it does turn out that way. Because, like, for instance, when you're in a math class, they'll teach you specifically how to get to an answer by using their way of doing it, rather than, like, any way. Because there's multiple ways to get to the same answer in some instances. So,
that's not slavery, then what is? Your GPA doesn't matter.
it does.
Hey, bro, what'd you get on your report card? 1.9? Hold up, how'd you even get in my house, bro?
3.9? 1.9?
Yeah, 1.9.
You got 1.9.
Not a 3 yet.
Like 1.9.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, bro, yes.
Your GPA does not tell you who you are. Your GPA does.
It doesn't, but, like, listen, again, there's a conversation to have about restructuring our school system in, like, a better way to be able to communicate, like, be able to teach people better, 100%. But to say that that it doesn't matter is just an insane thing to say. Like, intelligence matters. Generally speaking, like, our school system that could use work is better than 90% of the school systems in the world. Like, it is better. It doesn't tell you who you are, but it will show your strengths and weaknesses, and it also tries to teach you the ground rules so that you can think critically.
Doesn't tell you how smart you are, how intelligent you are, how fast you can think, how creative you are.
Those things are not necessarily true. It does kind of do all those things.
It has nothing to
Maybe
do
not creative, but
with that. All your GPA tells you is how you can regurgitate info in to info out, right? Your teacher.
What's really interesting is that, like, if you looked at, like, the most successful people in the world, most of them have gotten through school and they did well. Like, you know how people go like, Bill Gates dropped out of high school or dropped out of college? Yeah, like college maybe, but, like, high school, they fucking were phenomenal. The idea that it's not like being good in school doesn't matter is dumb. This video is actually very harmful.
Taught you something for the test, that's today. You took in the information, you spit it back out, and it's gone. That's all schooling is. It makes you a robot. It makes you a zombie.
And then it's gone. So this is, like, actually a pretty typical phenomenon. The way that your brain works is, like, you'll either learn information, you'll use it, and when you stop using it, you forget it. But the way the brain works is it still stores it in a way where when you reintroduce yourself to the course material, it comes back quickly. Like, that's kind of the whole point. That's, like, a very real thing. So if you ever needed to recall that information, you would learn it very quickly.
cannot think about new creative things. You cannot make a new program. You cannot code a website. You cannot build a rocket. No, you sit down and you shut your mouth and you be a good, obedient boy. And if you're not, then we'll put you on pills to make you a good boy. And
what? Come on, bro. Now you're being a little ridiculous because like I had ADHD and I was a very problematic behavioral child. So you're like, oh, well, if he was screaming in class and jumping on the desks, well, that's just his expression. It's the outcome of what you're saying. Now, I don't really believe in medicating kids. I think it can be very dangerous, but I do also understand why some people would medicate their kid. But like this idea that like it feels, I honestly, and I don't use language like this, it feels ableist. Like you're kind of weaponizing, and I don't know if maybe you have ADHD or something, I don't know. But it seems like you're weaponizing particular mental like issues, illnesses, I don't know what you'd call that. Whatever, developmental disorders? Maybe that's what it is. You're weaponizing like developmental disorders to promote a dumb narrative. So like,
that's very, very scary. They're putting you on Adderall and Ritalin to make you shut up, listen, and don't say a word or do not act out of place.
Bro, like ADHD is a literal struggle. When I was on my medication, I was a straight A, like double accelerated, like honor student. I came off of my medication. I dropped out of high school. Like you just can't focus. It's very difficult to manage. Like I'm not kidding. Like I just left. Like my brain had. It was really nice to not be like on the medication. I'm gonna be honest with you because I struggled with my ability to express myself, of course, which is why I'm not a big fan of doing that. You're probably better off with some kind of behavioral program, but like it does work, and it's not like the alternative of not being on medication is like this incredible thing. Like I wasn't expressing myself in a creative way. I was just being stupid. You really do need to teach kids when they're young so that they learn. It's a real thing, bro.
What's actually very scary is the kids that sit down and don't act out of place regardless. The kids that go into school, shut their mouth, raise their hand to speak, and don't be out of line, don't be out of turn, don't be anything but an obedient good boy or girl. That's very, very strange. And I know a lot of you guys aren't like that. A lot of you guys like to socialize, talk, daydream, sleep, do things that pique your interest. And that's normal. That's very, very healthy.
The way that he's describing school is so bizarre because it's not like you don't have social interactions in school. I'm not saying it was the greatest time, but it's like, yeah, when the authority figure, your teacher is talking, like, yeah, you listen because they're teaching you things that generally will be relevant. That's it. It's not like they tell kids they beat the shit out of kids. Like, you can't talk to. It's like, no, people still talk to each other. Like, what the fuck? That's why it's so funny because this guy will complain about how they tell you to just shut up and don't talk, blah blah blah. This is the same guy who would get upset when you put him in a group with somebody he didn't like. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking weird. It's so weird. He's getting a bunch of kids to be like, yeah, this is true. I remember not having fun in school. What do you think what do you really think like better schooling is going to look like? It's going to look very similar to what schooling looks like now, just probably better. It would look like smaller class sizes and like a better expression of curriculum. That's it. It would still be pretty much the same.
This is why if we go to school, it'll take us so much longer to learn about a subject that we don't care about. But if we're at home, like you are doing right now, listening to a video or watching a video, you'll be able to learn and pick up on things so much more quicker because you show a piqued interest in that subject.
Who cares? Like, life isn't just about doing what you want to do. That's so weird. That's just like a weird thing to say. Like, yes, when you're interested in something, it is easier to learn it because you're more interested in it. But like, life is full of things that you have to do that you may not want to do. Like, not everybody can be a creative fucking genius that can do whatever they want. Like, you have to work a job. Like, you do. Even if we're under a communist society, you're still going to be, not everyone's going to be able to be the fucking gender studies, queer analyst or whatever. I don't know what you'd call. There's going to have to still be people who pick up piss and shit and drive buses and clean buses and all that other stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, there's still other jobs. You're not going to get your dream job. That's good for a hobby. It's good to have hobbies. It's good to be interested in something. But like, you still have to do things you don't like to do. It wasn't a fun experience for me to like learn how to drive a bus or like learn the different engine parts in a fucking bus. But I had to do it. And I had to learn to focus my mind even when I didn't like the topic I was doing. Like, what do you want school to be?
So that brings the question, why should you have to learn anything that doesn't pique your interest?
Bro, this is just, there's no way that this is not satirical.
Are we all given this cookie cutter frame where we all learn the same exact skills, the same exact...
Why do you need to learn things? This is my brain right now, the way that his eyes are. Like, why do you, bro, come on. Why do you need to learn things that don't pique your interest? Because that's not realistic. Most people would just fucking jerk off and play video games all day if they didn't have structure. It's just a reality, bro. Like, we have to do things to benefit society. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, this is one thing. It'd be really great if we learn how to do taxes. That's a nice way to reform. But, you know, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Next subject, the same curriculum, and then boom, we're into the real world with no real skills, with no real individual traits, with no real character, with no real personality.
I just feel like that's not true. Like, not what are you talking about? Everybody, like, there's a lot of diversity in school. Like, I don't like overstructured schools. Like, uniforms, that's a form of like removing expression. I don't think schools should have uniforms, or you should be allowed to wear like reasonable piercings and whatnot, because that's like self-expression. And it makes sense to allow kids to express themselves and not feel like a robot. But like, we're talking about normal school. Go to school, you dress however you want, as long as it was deemed like appropriate, it wasn't too sexualized, whatever, and you go to class. It wasn't really that bad. You know, the worst part about school is that it's kids. Honestly. And I don't think we talk about this enough, because yes, there are issues with the way that we teach in some areas especially. But then also there's issues where kids are real big pieces of shit. Bullying is horrible. That's not because of the adults. That's because the kids are assholes. Kids are non-empathetic fucking slime monsters. They are full of disease and just horrible attitudes. That is what schools are. That is what children are rather. That's what children are. They're really big assholes. Kids don't give a shit about other people. You have to teach children empathy. It's insane. That's the biggest issue. That's where a lot of the toxicity comes from like other shitty kids, and like all your hormones raging around. You know, people don't like to think about that part though. They don't think about that part. They're like, yeah, school sucks. I remember I didn't like it, and it must be the teacher's fault. Well, you remember that fucking little asshole bully? Like, you know, when the fucking students outnumber the teachers 30-1, it becomes a little bit difficult, especially when you have a behavioral kid that you can't beat. Now, you shouldn't be able to beat kids, but you got some asshole running around jumping on desks. You really can't do anything. If the kid doesn't want to go anywhere, they have to call the cops. It's like fucking 20 minutes just to get this kid fucking breaking glass. It's crazy.
We're just a zombie. You see, schools are made.
Meanwhile, in like other countries, they're like desperate to have like their kids come to America to have our education. Like, I mean, again, it's flawed. It could be better, but Jesus Christ.
To make us work in factories. Everybody does know this, but
it's not to make us work in factories. Like, this is the problem, right? So the way that they teach school in like you know, middle class or areas or whatnot, it does tend to be in a way that you like sit down, listen, etc., etc. I don't think that's active as like, oh, we want you to learn to work in a factory. We want you to learn to take authority. I think that that's more of a passive thing, because the structure makes sense. You have a teacher that teaches, sit, listen, everybody learn. Because, you know, you need to be like financially like efficient in some capacity, or that's the goal. So you put one teacher in a class of like 30 people, for instance, and then you sit and you listen and you shut the fuck up while the teacher talks. It makes sense. I don't think that there's some kind of like secondary like mission to like, let's make these kids dumb, right? Now, it might have the offset of that happening, but I don't think that's the active intention for it to happen. And then you get into classes that were like where like the parents might pay additional money to get into those schools, and those tend to be better when it comes to your ability to think more critically and like less structured, because they have more teachers per student, or they have fewer students per teacher rather. So I don't think that they're actively like, we need to get people to work in the factories. Beep, boop, boop. I don't really think that that's what the design is. I think it is just trying to be a design of efficiency. That's it. I don't like just narrative. It sounds like a young person heard like a thing on the radio, because I heard about this as well a while ago, and they decided to construct a narrative because they didn't like school, because they missed their mom from preschool moving on. It's like, come on, bro.
2019. Not everybody's going to work in a factory now. For God's sakes, I'm 17 years old making a living off of talking to a camera and posting it on YouTube.
Well, it seemed like your schooling worked. It didn't completely destroy your... If schooling was so bad that it ruined your creativity, then why are you doing this? How are you doing this?
Creativity is limitless. It is endless. And especially in this day and age, you don't have to be bound by what everybody tells you should be. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a lawyer. You can be literally anything you want. Do what you love, and you can monetize it.
That's the problem, though. This is a problem that he's promoting right now. So one of the biggest issues that we have with schools is that that's what teachers tell you to do, and guidance counselors. They say, you can do whatever you want, go to college and pursue whatever you want. And then they give you a free loan with no backing. Like, they're like, hey, what are you? You're 18 years old and you've never worked a job? Here's $100,000. Meanwhile, you want to get like a fucking car loan. It's like, what's your credit? Excuse me, sir, we can't give you that car. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it fucking incredible? That's one of the problems, is that we're not realistic. School, whether you like it or not, needs to an extent, be a way to push people toward jobs that are necessary for society. Now, you could forcefully do that, which I disagree with, or you can give people options. Most people don't have like this, like, oh, I want to be a fucking literary artist. I want to write books, blah, 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 blah. No, not everybody has a dream. I didn't really have a dream, but they force you to have a dream. And then you're like, I don't know, music? You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know, maybe I like writing, because you like writing and you're forced to have a passion. So now it's like, it's my passion. It would have been better if schools were like, hey, if you don't know what you want to do, maybe go to get a liberal arts degree to get the bullshit out of the way. Or maybe you go get a trade, become a welder. That'll be a good job. You can make a lot of money. A lot of kids would be like, oh, didn't know that. Cool. Maybe if they promoted BOCES programs better, but a lot of times they try to like deter kids from going into BOCES programs to learn like things that are actually necessary. You know, this doesn't make sense. This idea that you can do whatever you want is very much a first world problem. And I say it's a problem because it really does pull people away from doing things that we need in society. Like, it is absolutely quite possible that you can do your dream job. Look at me. I'm doing my dream job. But it's always the big content creators that make a lot of money that go, you can all do this. You cannot all do this. It's just a reality. Like, it's not because you're dumb. It's because, I mean, maybe you're dumb. I don't know. But it's because there's not enough availability of like YouTube content creators. You could all be a YouTube content creator. Fucking how, bro? If everybody was, then like nobody would be watching. You know, it's not the reality. And it's always these people that make a lot of money that sell you a fucking dream that just doesn't exist. I don't think he's doing it in a malicious way. I think that he just doesn't understand his own, in this case, privilege of being able to be a content creator on fucking YouTube. Right? The way that you should generally operate is that you should find a job that pays as well as possible that you could also tolerate. And then use your free time to do a hobby that would hopefully turn into another career that you would like. But you need to be practical. That's it. The way that this guy's promoting is the fucking bullshit dream that like you could do whatever you want. Guys, you could do, oh, look at me, I'm a big creator. You do whatever you want. Go be a TikTok dancer. Everybody could do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, dude. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, bro.
No one knows how to pay taxes, how to balance a checkbook, how to make
those are great things that we should implement.
A business, how to start.
And to be honest with you, the government shouldn't even require us to file taxes. They should just do it for us. I don't even know why we file taxes. It really doesn't make that much sense. It's probably because we have such complicated tax loopholes for rich people to go through that we're all required to fucking like go above and beyond just to deal with this shit.
Online business and market it. Nobody knows how loans work. We're just all taught to be the same person. We're all taught to be graded on the same exact subjects and skills that don't really matter. When's the last time that you...
They do matter. You're like literally English is like the English class, language classes. It's why you're speaking English so well. Like it's almost like we've transcended like common sense. The reason that people speak well of their particular language is usually because they did well in school for that particular language. It's really not that much more complex than that. Like, you're absolutely going to see people that perform better in society those are people who were better in school, even your creative individuals. Just telling you, bro. Taxes should be something that's taught, but like that's the only good point you brought up.
You've used the Pythagorean theorem to get somewhere in life. Oh, you haven't. So why are you still bragging about your 4.0 GPA that just makes you as stupid as everybody else?
But they usually will perform better. You are lucky. You don't like. You seem like a smart guy, like, and you're doing better than people that like are advanced mathematicians probably because you're doing this field. But those people, generally, they're okay. Let's take 1,000 people with a 4.0 GPA versus 1,000 people like this guy. The 1,000 people with the 4.0 GPA are doing better overall than every single person that has the same GPA or whatever skill set this guy has. He's just lucky. Content creation is a lucky thing. There's no particular formula. Like, it's just, honestly, it might as well be fucking magic. I couldn't even explain to you why people even watch content creators. I don't even understand it myself. I come in sometimes and I post a video to YouTube and I just don't understand why the fuck you guys watch it. I really love it and appreciate it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like unfucking explained. Right? I hate that bro, one of the biggest things I regret in life is not finishing high school. I dropped out of high school even though I was like an honor student. It wasn't great. I did 10 years of a job that like I could have done better then. That's no insult to the job, but like I was overqualified for the job and it was miserable. It was miserable because I was overqualified and like it was not challenging me at all. Like, I wish I finished high school. And this guy's like, yeah, fuck, high school's dumb. No, it's not. You should finish it. And it'll give you much more opportunities, even if it sucks. And you know what? It's good to learn that things suck in life, because things suck in life. So school sucks. Get over it. You'll be a better person with more character.
You see, if you have a 1.9 GPA or a 4.0 GPA, there's nothing different between you guys besides one person is a slave and one person thinks for themselves and does whatever the hell they want to do. There's a
Well, that 4.0 person is probably going to be making more money and doing what they want to do more than the 1.9 person.
reason why you go to school for 7 hours. No, it's not because there's 7 curriculums that you have to learn,
Well, usually there's like 9, but okay.
but it's because they want you to be drained of all your energy.
You want to know the real reason why you're in school for 7 hours? It's not because they want to drain you out of your energy. It's because school is also a fucking daycare for parents so that they can go to work. It's not right, but it's just the reality of the world. Why do you think after-school programs exist? Partially to help the students, partially to keep you in school. It's a way to keep you in school so the parents can work. I'm not kidding. It's like they do this to drain your energy. No, they do it so that the parents can go to fucking work. It's not like a super complicated thing. You know, this is what happened, bro. Listen, let me tell you something. I love that young people are having an opinion on things and they can express it in public, but I hate that we take young people's opinions on things as some kind of like fact. Because the problem with these platforms like YouTube and stuff is that it's a lot of young people consuming. That's changing every day because audiences are aging and more older people are coming to the platform to make content and also to watch content. But what happens is you have these fields like Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of young people set the narrative and the stage for these particular things. And then young people will talk and then other young people go, I identify with that, even if it's wrong, because you have no real understanding of life until you experience it. Life experience is a very important thing, right? I look back in time and I'm like, what a fucking moron. It's incredible. But one of the problems that happens is a lot of times young people, when you get famous, you almost get like mentally stuck at that age that you got famous at, and you become fucking stupid, and you never grow because you're not forced to grow because there's nothing really hitting you. There's really like when you just make bullshit videos that are like this. What growth are you going to really experience when it comes to your interactions with your job? You're really not going to experience a lot. And jobs are a huge interaction and a huge experience for different people because you learn to interact with different people you normally wouldn't have interacted with and do things you don't like to do. So when you get pushed into a career that allows you to do whatever you want whenever you want, that allows you to have amazing freedom, because it does. It absolutely does. For a young person, it's jarring. And it's like, oh my God, why doesn't everybody do this? When I became like, I do such little work now and I love it. I used to bust my fucking balls and I'm happy I did because I learned a lot. But like, you just learn so much. Like, bro, there's so many things that you don't learn when you get curbed by doing something like this. You just don't learn it. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It's such a hard thing to communicate to people because they're young and they're just a lot of young people don't want to listen to old people. And I know old people can be fucking dumb. I do understand that, right? I was a young person too, and I even think that old people older than me are dumb sometimes too. But there is a life experience you quite literally cannot learn in school that will make you look back and go, I wish I finished school. There's so many things I regret, bro. I'm just telling you, it's a hard point to communicate because one of the ways you communicate people is through life experience. Like, you don't have to necessarily explain all the pretext and like the subtleties of it because you've experienced that and you know how to put the pieces in together. But you guys don't have all the pieces for everything I'm talking about. And no, we shouldn't restrict people from making content before they're 18. But we need to normalize not taking this seriously because it's so wrong in so many ways.
What I mean by this is that if you go to school for 7 hours, you wake up at 6:30, you come home around 2:30 or 3. If you do this every single day, along with doing your homework, even playing sports, you're not going to have any time or energy to do what you actually love. And that's exactly
usually you love sports if you're playing sports.
What they want to happen. You're completely drained. You're mentally paralyzed and handicapped because you cannot do what you want to do. You're just thinking and working for somebody else.
Listen, it sucks that I think that homework is something that we should talk about because I don't know that homework necessarily has a positive impact on kids. I think it does take up time. But what I will say is I remember being a kid sleeping 4 hours a night, going to school, and it didn't matter. Play video games. You know what I mean? I had plenty of time to play video games. Something that might be better is allowing kids to not be off over the summers. Maybe do a 3-month on, 1 month off, or even lower it from 8 hours to 6 hours or something, and allow people to go to school in a different time frame. Kids to have more time to do things. You learn a little bit slower. Or you learn that over the same period of time, just like a little bit less condensed. That might be a better idea. Do you think homework helps? I don't know. I heard some stuff that said it didn't. But like I said, revisit the topic and talk about it because it does take up some free time.
This is why, as a junior and a senior, I tried to get off as many hours of school that I possibly could, whether that be from co-op, actually working a job, or taking online college classes. I did this so I can leave school earlier and I can try out new things. Now I'm seeing more success that I have on YouTube in my whole life.
I will say, like, it's a hard sell to say I'm at school for 8 hours and I don't have any time for my own stuff. And then he says, but I'm taking college courses on the side. How could you, how do you, if you don't have enough time to do the things you like, then how is it that you're able to do college courses? You clearly like to do college courses to get out, although it seems like you said you dropped out. I don't really know. But like you're not even being consistent with what you're saying.
I'm learning how to play the guitar and I'm going for runs every single day. And did you also realize how once the report cards come in, what's the first thing you hear from your classmates? Hey bro, what'd you get? They only care just so that they can see that they got a better grade than you. Nobody,
yes, people are dickheads. Like we were talking about before, kids are toxic.
with a 2.0 GPA is going to ask you what you got on your report card because they're so insecure about their own grade, they don't want you to check their grade, right? So the guys that are asking what'd you get are basically rubbing it in your face. That's how we're trained. That's what we're supposed to do.
You're not trained like that, bro. Kids are fucking dickheads. Do you think that anybody's training you to be a fucking asshole, dude? Kids are horrible monsters, bro. Bro, this kids are monsters lacking empathy. They are horrible monsters. You don't leave school and then learn empathy one day. It's something that takes a lot of reinforcement to teach kids. Like, they try to, like, stop doing that for the most part. There's obviously those teachers that are, they'll walk over your shoulder, they'll look, and they'll be like, oh, remember to read the question the right way, guy, you know? But, like, I'm pretty sure it's against policy to shame kids for their grades and to make it public to other kids. It might even be illegal. I'm not 100% sure. But come on. Then yeah, most kids with extra free times are probably spending it playing video games, which is not like necessarily a bad thing because they enjoy video games. You should do things you enjoy, but like people have plenty of free time. Like I'm just letting you know, it's not like it doesn't exist.
That's what we're all fighting for.
That's what I did though. I got addicted to World of Warcraft, brother.
All fighting for a grade, right? We're all fighting for a report card. We're all fighting for a job. We're all fighting for success and security in this world.
Yes, you need to work. I just want you guys to know that you usually have to work, even if we were communists. So shut the fuck up.
And it all starts off at 2 or 3 years old as a preschooler.
What?
We're being trained. We're being manipulated. The next time you go to school.
Bro, he's literally telling us that we are groomed as children to function into society. I just want you to know that this guy is not, I'm not, like, unironically telling us that we are being groomed by society to be functioning members of society. This is the whole narrative. Like, the title should have been, oh my God, school groomed me. Oh my God, school groomed me. Like, exclamation point or fucking emotional. Hashtag emotional. Come on, bro. You need, like, it's almost like I feel like I'm getting gaslit, bro. I'm getting gaslit by this kid. I don't want to tell you why, because you need to learn how to function in society, or you're gonna fucking fail. You're gonna be a failure if you don't learn how to function. Society exists because, like, we make technological advancements. We're constantly adjusting in different capacities, but society generally exists to propagate more society. What do we want to do with kids, right? So here's what we do right now. We have these kids that they're born, right? They put you in preschool, which is phenomenal. If you have access to preschool for your kid, put them in there. We should have universal preschool. It's really good for kids getting an education. You put them in preschool, and then they go through like first grade, second grade, third grade, blah, 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 blah. Then they go into here, and then they go, that's their 12th grade, whatever. And they go to college, right? Now, there's an issue with the way that schools teach you. I'm not even going to put the right lines. That schools teach you. They don't necessarily teach you, like, some schooling could do better at, like, getting people to go towards jobs we were talking about before that are necessary for society. But what is the alternative? All right, you're a kid. Let kids do what they want. Okay, so now your kid's eating and shitting and farting and watching Cocomelon until they've gone through their entire developmental process. That's what you're advocating for. Let kids do what they want. You know how dumb kids are? Letting kids do what they want, bro. If you let me do what I wanted as a kid, I would probably have done like nothing. You're gonna just sit there and you're gonna fucking just do nothing. You're gonna be a loser that can't even speak. It's like, should we not teach our kids to speak? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's one of those incredible things where it's you're just so wrong in so many ways. Your interpretation of information is wildly irresponsible, and he's not doing it on purpose. But this is why you can't listen to young people about the issues, about some of these issues. We need to listen to the expressions of young people. Hey, school's frustrating. There's aspects of it that suck and could be better. Oh, let's work on that. That's great. But saying that because I have issues with school means we need to eradicate school. it blows the shit through my asshole. Yeah, he probably does feel like he's saying something really deep too. That's but we were all there. I used to write poetry. I thought I was so deep. I've reread them. My wife did, and she giggled. And I love it made me feel like shit. But like, you're a kid. You're dumb, bro. She thought it was cute. I thought it was cringe though, because I read it too.
School, I want you to take a look around you. Right now, after watching this video, your consciousness is actually hired, right? So now you can see things that not
bro, he really tooting his own horn. After you watch this video, your consciousness is hired. You have ascended. This guy is like as a guru. This guy is like a self-help guru. That's the way that he's coming off, bro. As like a woke guru. I'm always very, very hesitant about guru-esque type people. It's just they're a little sussy.
everybody else does. You can see how everybody's racing for the same thing. Everyone's doing the same thing, talking about the same thing, dressing the same way, eating the same food, and going into the same careers.
What? Bro, I see a lot of different expressions at school, bro. Except all the fat people wore their coats all year round, like me, so that you couldn't tell how fat they were. Well, you thought they couldn't tell, but then you just ended up smelling because it was summer and hot and they don't have air conditioners in school. That's something that they need in schools. I think they're starting to implement those. Isn't that crazy? There used to not be... Do you guys have air conditioners in your classrooms in high school? Because I didn't. It's fucked up. You do? Bro, what a privilege. What a fucking privilege. What a privilege, bro. No, none in my fucking classrooms, bro. Woo! Oh, you live in the UK? The UK is not bad. In America, bro, start hitting those 90 degrees. You're sitting in class, fucking sweating your tits off. They might get you a fan in the classroom. Maybe they have a fan in there. You know? It's crazy. It's crazy. But there's plenty of expression. Not everybody ate the same food either. And by the way, even if they did, who cares? It's a fucking cafeteria. The food in the cafeteria is disgusting, by the way. Like, it should be more healthy and less good tasting. I might have a peanut butter and jelly after this, though. But anyway, bro, dude, this is insane.
Because they want security. Security is the equivalent to depression. Being secure in a 9-to-5 job is just as sad as going to school every single day. Nothing's going to change.
Not really, bro. Having financial security is a massive weight off your shoulders. I guarantee you that any kid right now, think about the job that you're working that you may not like. Let's say it's Starbucks. Imagine you got paid triple the amount that you got paid. You'd probably be a lot happier because you'd be like, well, I don't mind Starbucks. I just wish I had a little bit better of a living, right? So that I could do things that I like to do, like maybe play video games, or maybe I could focus on my poetry, or I could focus on drawing or writing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to have the job you love. In fact, most of the time, you're not going to love your job at all. Learn to tolerate it, and then use that money wisely if you can, and then do things you like to do with it, right? We obviously need to have a conversation about wealth redistribution, et cetera, and paying people better and whatnot. But like, that's more realistic. It's bizarre that you think that people are born that are like, I cannot wait to clean up garbage off the street. It's not, doesn't exist, bro. I didn't like taking whole logs of shit off of public buses. The job wasn't that bad. The management was a little shitty sometimes. The job wasn't that bad though, right?
Primary apps.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother. But there was one time, like, you know, I went on a bus and there was a big hard log of shit that was actually like this big. It was thinner than this, but it was like this big. Does that sound like, is anybody born to want to clean up somebody's diarrhea? Well, not diarrhea, actual shit log off? No, they're not. Happy birthday, brother. Okay. But you want to know what? It was actually not bad because usually it is diarrhea. So I just had to grab a plastic bag and then like I put my hand in the plastic bag and then I picked it up. I folded it up like this, tied it up, threw it in the garbage. All done. Easy. It sucks. But I didn't clean shit off of... Bro, there was this one woman who would come onto the buses like every Thursday and Friday night, like clockwork. She would sit. There was like rows of seats in the buses, right? So like you come in through the bus here, here's like the door, whatever, and then like you know, over here would be seats. So there would be like seats that are over here, there's a seat here, there's like a seat here, there's a seat here, and then they were crafted weird. So there was also like seats here and seats here, and then there was like seats here on this side as well, right? Blah 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 blah. You see that there's seats over there, right? So she would come in and she would piss on this every single seat in a fucking row. She would get up, she'd piss, and she would keep doing it. And sometimes every month she was on her fucking period, so there was bloody piss on those seats, bro. You think I like doing that? No. And you can't kick her off the bus because you know you're not allowed to like remove people from the bus. It was crazy. Nobody. Do you think that there was somebody that's like, bro, I cannot wait to clean up this fucking like 40-year-old drunk woman's piss and bloody fucking shit? No. Bro, nobody, because that's what you're saying. It's like, you should all do your dream job, bro. No, shut the fuck up. You cannot. That's the problem, is we're telling kids they can do their dream job instead of being like, yo, bro, maybe you don't have to. Bro, do you want to know what the most pressured thing for me was? It's not that, oh, you can do your dream job. It was that you have to do your dream job. It felt like you were forced into doing a dream job. Not everybody has everything figured out, bro. You know what you're better off doing? Being 18 years old and finding a job that pays well if you don't know what you want to do and pursuing it. Because when you're 30 years old, you can change your career. And it's much easier to do if you're making a ton of money doing something like welding rather than like fucking dicking around doing McDonald's because you don't know what the fuck you want to do. You know? Like before I became big on TikTok, I was working and I was going to school for computer science and I was doing pretty well. And like that was what was going to be my job, but then COVID happened. Luckily, well, not luckily, it was horrible, but you know there was my silver lining, and I was doing this, and I'm really happy. It's great, but you know, Jesus Christ,
This is all they know. This is all they will ever be. But now that you've watched this video, I challenge you. Try something new. Learn
I challenge you. Join my Discord.
a new skill. Play the piano. Play the guitar. Go on YouTube. Find anything that will make you happy. Go skiing. Start to skateboard. Do something that you never thought you would have found fun, because if you turn out to love it, I promise you, buy a camera and you will monetize the hell out of it. You will
Everybody will monetize the camera, guys.
be able to make a profit off of your passion. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you've been inspired to try something new, because that's what I'm here for. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace.
Bro, I've been inspired to take a piss. Listen, bro, the end there says all of it. The end of that says literally everything that we need to know about this situation. Okay? And that is that this person thinks everybody can be a content creator, and that's just fucking unrealistic. It's not a bad idea to try. And you know what? You might be able to do it. But be practical. Have a plan B. Fucking insane video. Fucking insane video. Drop out and join the Papa Gut Army. Yeah, that's your best bet.